Kwadcast Nation, we have a unique, special, glowing, energetic guest. First-time Kwadcast guest in the mix. Kris Ouimet, owner of the 2 Euro spots in Ottawa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. K. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
Yeah.
Listen, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to paint a picture of somebody that typically is going to come to see you at Eurospot, because I think there's a lot of stigma around this issue. There's a lot of fear, but the impacts that your clients will have can be significant. So what is a standard, typical scenario where someone's coming to see you?
Well, first thing I'd say is standard is anybody who has a pelvic floor belongs at Eurospot, which is everybody. We have about 80% women and about 20% men at this point. There's a lot of reasons you might come to Eurospot. So we have 25-year-olds, we have 95-year-olds. So there's a lot of different reasons why you might come and why you might benefit. So I'd say the bulk of our clients are between 40 and say 65 years old. Ottawa is a really active town, so I find that we have a lot of women and men who are very active. They're runners, they're skiers, they do CrossFit, and they're noticing that pelvic floor dysfunction is having an impact on their quality of life because they can't do the things that they used to do. So that's probably I would say what we're expecting to see come through the door, at least 50, 60% of the time. Women and men who are just I'm not dealing with this anymore. I want to do the things I love. So whether it's bladder leaks, urgency, frequency, waking up at night to pee, which is, over the age of 40, maybe once, but really you shouldn't be waking up more than once a night to pee. And most of us shouldn't be waking up at all. But then also there's this sort of perimenopause and menopausal women who are dealing with genitourinary symptoms. 82% of postmenopausal women say they've dealt with them. So vaginal dryness, low libido, painful sex. So we treat all of that as well. So it's hard to really tell you there's one exact type of client. We get elderly people who just want to sleep the night. 80% of senior falls happen in the bathroom. When they fall and injure themselves, happen in the bathroom because they're getting up at night to go pee. So it runs the gamut, and we love all of them. It's hard to say one particular type, but I would say that really it's the bulk would be sort of women in that sort of perimenopause, postmenopause stage of life.
Fair enough. We'll talk specifically about that demographic here for a second. So that's a lot of women. And as you recall, there's a lot of being one of the key members at our last menopausal event that this is now getting more attention, but a lot of the symptoms and treatments, at least before, were being ignored. And so when we talk about the pelvic floor issues around perimenopausal women, why is it happening then? What are some of the symptoms, and what are some of the typical treatments that they have before coming to, say, a Eurospot?
So first I'll kind of explain what's happening a little bit, because most women, they're like, I was laughing with my friends and I peed a little bit, or, I can't do box jumps anymore because a little bit of pee comes out. I mean, what's happening there is that, your pelvic floor is think of it like a trampoline that cuts your body in half, pubic bone to spine, hip to hip. It's 8 muscles in 3 layers. And just like any other muscle in our body, it weakens if you're not trying to maintain strength, right? And we know as we get older, we lose muscle more rapidly. It's harder to grow muscle, and we're losing it more rapidly. So what's happening is that trampoline that your bladder and your bowels and your uterus sit on is getting weak, and it's over time. So when you first notice that little leak, when you laugh or cough or you jump or you're dancing, all it is those muscles sort of buckling under the pressure, and a little bit of pee comes out. And that's early stages of pelvic floor dysfunction. It normally starts there. For men, it's often frequency, but for women, they're just in those early stages, and lots of things weaken the pelvic floor. I mean, obviously childbirth, pregnancy, weight gain, chronic constipation, chronic cough, and age. Anything that's age is just the muscles weakening, and then anything that's putting constant pressure down on those muscles, and we're just not doing anything to support them. So that's sort of that's what's happening there. And it just happens to coincide with the perimenopausal years, right? Where you're looking at hormone changes, muscle weakening, and also nervous system stress factors as well. That's all happening in that age group. So, I mean, I think that we treat so much of that at Eurospot. Like I said, 45% of women give up intimacy entirely, also because of pelvic floor dysfunction, whether it's low libido or bladder leaks. And I am not sure if I answered your question.
No, you're totally answering my question. So,
okay.
So, I mean, when you think about those symptoms, and that's pretty significant, right? Like, there's one thing to have bladder leak, but it's also, as you alluded to, not doing the stuff that you enjoy, whether that's activity, whether it's not inability to jump, whether it's intimacy, like that's pretty high on the quality of life metric.
100%. And that's what we do is we restore quality of life. The thing about perimenopause and menopause is that sort of hot flashes and hormones, they get all the attention, but it's those other things that cause like embarrassment, dysfunction, and leave you feeling, disconnected and even broken. Like you can't do those things anymore, or you feel ashamed and you lose confidence, and it's a downward spiral, right? Because now you're like, I'm embarrassed, and I don't think I feel alone in this world, and I can't go to the gym, and I can't walk with my friends the way I used to, and I can't even take that trip because I don't know where the next bathroom is, and I'm worried I'm going to embarrass myself. And so then I stop doing the things I love. It leads to depression, it leads to weight gain, which then leads to greater pelvic floor dysfunction and muscle weakening. It's what we do is we restore the muscles, but we also restore freedom and confidence in our clients so that they can do those things that they love again. So it's often like a total like 180, and you see people excited to get out and do the things they love and go to the gym and play with their grandkids and do all the things that they want to do. We really help change lives. It seems like something so small, doesn't it? Like treating bladder leaks, but it's not. It's actually huge. It is exactly what you said, Dr. K. It's quality of life. And that one little thing is connected to so much in terms of quality of life.
But this is one of the themes for our platform is what's the lever or intervention you could undertake that's going to have a massive impact on your quality of life or your health in general, and that you're describing that to a T. When you're in a state where, once again, you're not doing the stuff that you love to do, it's affecting your mental health, it's affecting your relationships probably. All these things are linked, and then we're going to hear the details about it, but an intervention that can tick all those boxes. I mean, this is why you're here.
And sleep, right? And sleep, like one of your big 3 pillars, right? I watch you all the time. One of them is sleep. And if you're waking up 2 and 3 times a night to pee, it's extremely disruptive to your sleep quality. And so you're already starting your day off at like a detriment, right? You're already starting behind because you didn't sleep properly the night before. So allowing people to sleep the night is huge as well in terms of people are waking up 5 and 6 times a night to go to the bathroom.
That's not conducive with anything awesome.
No, absolutely
that's
not.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we have women who do treatment, and then they make their husbands come in for treatment because their husband's waking up at night and they're like, well, I'm sleeping the night, so you have to too now. So it's a good social referrals, actually.
That's amazing. So just to complete the story, before coming to Eurospot, are there stuff that people are trying? Is there stuff that they're doing that's working for their pelvic floor dysfunction that even maybe you might recommend as on top of everything else? But yeah, just getting a sense of the landscape.
100%. Yeah. So first and foremost, on average, women take up to 6 years to seek treatment. Yeah. They don't want to bring it up. They're told, or if they do, they're told it's normal. It's part of getting older. It's not. It can be treated. But we start with things like, well, you should definitely talk to somebody. Talk to somebody you trust. If you have a physician who says, don't worry about it, it's part of getting older, find someone else to talk to. Pelvic floor physiotherapy is amazing. We work with pelvic floor physiotherapists. They're a wealth of knowledge, and so absolutely a great place to start. Now you can come to us because we also do pelvic floor physiotherapists. You can go to one in person. We can talk a little bit about the difference between those two things. And there's things you can do, small things you can do at home. You can try and do Kegels, which is sort of these, pelvic floor strengthening exercises. They're a little hard to do. Most people aren't doing them right, but you can kind of watch videos online on how to do them. You can educate yourself in terms of those muscles and how important they are. And you can do some exercises that are really, walking is an amazing source of strength for your pelvic floor. And Pilates is quite good as well for the pelvic floor as well. It's just a part of your core, right? So everyone's worried about that six pack, but no one's worried about completing the set, I call it, which is the part that wraps around underneath you and helps with your balance and your strength, your overall core strength. So you can definitely and should be, it's my dream. I have a 20-year-old daughter. It's my dream that she doesn't need a treatment like Eurospot because she has enough education as a young woman to maintain the strength in that pelvic floor if and when she has children, that she's focused on the pelvic floor strength before and after, but right now it's something that we've never talked about and it's been really quite taboo to talk about. So the number one key is to find somebody who is not going to be dismissive and try and treat it early. The clients that we see often have spoken to their family physician. Some of them have seen pelvic floor physiotherapists, and they're often say, I did well, but then I kind of gave up the exercises, that sort of thing. There's also surgery for pelvic organ prolapse. There's a surgery that has limited efficacy and is very invasive. So we have clients who come to us and then avoid surgery altogether, which is really amazing because that's a Band-Aid solution, right? Putting a sling in and lifting your organs is a Band-Aid solution compared to actually strengthening. The real problem is the pelvic floor muscle strength. So there's lots of ways you can try and do it at home. Behavior modification. So good example. We've all grown up doing like a just in case pee, right? Your mom says, we're going to the grocery store, go pee before we leave so you don't have to go. That's really disruptive to your pelvic floor and your pelvic floor health. There's as you know, a neuromuscular connection between your brain, your bladder, and your pelvic floor. And when you're peeing and you don't have to really go, you're reprogramming that signal to send a sense of urgency earlier and earlier. So now people come to us, I have a small bladder. Like, no, you backed yourself into a corner in terms of that neuromuscular connection. So we help reset that neuromuscular connection as well. And so we train and we do a lot of education, a lot. And we do work with pelvic floor physiotherapists who do provide all that education. The difference is that instead of being told to go home and do your Kegels, we do the Kegels for you with our technology. So we do all the health coaching, all the behavior, all the education, but we do the actual pelvic floor strengthening for you.
So it's like very much so a holistic approach to this.
Totally.
And give us a sense of what the machines do. Like I got to see the machine.
You need to come and try it. You walk by,
right? I
right?
didn't get to try it. The day was busy, but did Mama Bear try it? I don't know if she tried it.
Not yet. No. I got to connect with her.
But yeah, I didn't get a chance to try it. So what would people expect in terms of, I don't know, using the machine or
yeah, it's hard to. It's a medical device and Health Canada approved, FDA approved, and it's hard to describe how it feels, but essentially it's using high intensity focused electromagnetic energy, which is, it's like a polarized magnet that's creating these super maximal contractions of your pelvic floor. So you sit on it and nothing goes inside your body, you're fully clothed, but you feel your muscles contracting. It doesn't hurt, but it's really, really strange, which is why we always have people try it. We have registered nurses on staff and physiotherapists, and we make sure people try the technology to make sure they're okay with it. It doesn't hurt, but I find some people are a little bit more sensitive to it than others. Think of it, it's not exactly like a TENS machine, because a TENS machine what's the word I'm looking for? Like kind of repairs.
Stimulates. Okay.
Sort of repair, stimulates, whereas this actually grows the muscle fibers. The HIFM actually grows muscle fibers to the point where that HIFM is actually being used in like paraplegic patients now to grow muscle. It's really, really exciting technology, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you call what do I call the device? Do I just say the Eurospot device? What do I do?
Well, we just call it the technology.
I am the technology.
Chair.
So the technology.
The chair. Just say the chair.
The technology chair. So we use that, and it sounds like the predominant benefit is that you are building muscle in the areas where you need it for your pelvic dysfunction. So is this something that you do it once and you get it? Do you do it for a year? Like what's the, and I know everyone's different, so you could give the range, but what would I expect as an example if you need a perimenopausal woman that's having bladder leaks, can't jump and all that? What's the kind of expectation?
So there's, in addition, like you said, it is a comprehensive approach. So we do, the first thing is that you meet with a nurse and then a pelvic floor physiotherapist. There's a full care plan put in place. It's totally personalized to you and your needs. We do tons of education that is personalized as well to you. So it might be bowel health or sleep hygiene or bladder irritants or urge delay techniques, menopause, erectile dysfunction, like all of these different, we have tons of education that you consume while you are in for treatments, which is great because it's slightly distracting because the treatments are 28 minutes. And for that sort of, that perimenopause, menopausal woman, it is typically twice a week for 3 weeks. The reason being, all the clinical trial data is on the website, by the way. You can read all of it. That's sort of the greatest protocol in terms of results and efficacy. We modify that depending on, sometimes if someone's older and what's happening is here, you'll get this, not everyone, but you'll get this, is that, okay, so when we're doing that high foam, when they come in, we're breaking down. It's just like bicep curls, right? We're literally shredding the muscles and they're starting to recover. And then 2 days later, we do it again. And then they start to recover and then we do it again. So it's keeping them under duress that entire time. So normally you don't start seeing any results until like maybe 4, because I tell people like, you don't go to the gym once and leave with a 6-pack, right? It would be nice, but you don't. I've tried. So the first few times you don't even, you could actually, your symptoms could even get a little bit worse because your muscles are so fatigued, right? But around 4, you start to feel strength in your pelvic floor, and then 5 and 6, people are like, wow. But I'm always like, wait, because your muscles haven't fully recovered yet, right? Like they're still under duress. We're still shredding them even at treatment number 6. So the very best results come 6 to 8 weeks after your last treatment, because that's when those muscles are fully recovered and reach their fullest strength. So that's it. And then you're done. But there's a caveat. It is not a magic bullet. It is just going to the gym for your pelvic floor. It's super safe. But if you stop working at your biceps, they get weak again, right? So you have to maintain the strength. You can try and maintain that at home on your own with pelvic floor exercises at home, or you can come and see us once or twice a year for like one top-up session. And the muscle memory comes right back. So people, we like to make sure people understand it's not a drug, it's not a surgery, it's just going to the gym for your pelvic floor. It's super safe and super natural. But if you stop working on those muscles, they will eventually get weak again. Total transparency.
Incredible. So it's very achievable. You know what I mean? Like it's, like that initial protocol you're mentioning, 3 weeks, and then you do your homework and do what you're supposed to do at home, and then have a top up every once in a while. That's very appealing, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've treated over 3,000 people in Ottawa, and I'm guessing pushing 20,000 across the country at this point. So, and they're all part of our Euro family. We love everyone. We love all of our clients. So yeah, it's very achievable. And it's, at the end of the day, prevention, right? That's what it's the sooner you start paying attention to those pelvic, whether it's Eurospot or not. I guess my big message is do not ignore your pelvic floor. If I had to choose strong biceps or strong pelvic floor, I'd pick the pelvic floor every day of the week. It's your independence. It is one of the leading reasons women are admitted to long-term care facilities is incontinence. So they're the most important muscles in your body, in my humble opinion.
Incredible. So, Kris, I mean, you as you mentioned, in our city, we've treated over 3,000 folks. Any stories come to mind about the impact you folks have been able to have on their lives?
Oh, I mean, yeah, a million. Like, it's the best thing being in the clinic and meeting all these amazing clients. And a lot of them write us little notes. Like, we get cards and notes. And, there was one woman who wrote to us and she said, I was able to dance. She went to the Shania Twain concert last year. And she's like, I danced the whole time. I never had to go to the bathroom. I didn't have a single leak. It was a time like, here's the other thing. There's a huge mental component to this, right? People think about it all the time. So most of our clients will be like, it's amazing that the leaks are gone. I didn't know how much space it was eating in my brain. I didn't know how much time I spent worrying about it and thinking about it and planning it and where's the next bathroom. And if I go to the gym, I got to wear those black leggings to the gym, right? And I got to, like, it was when you take that piece away from them, they get to live their lives like fully. In fact, I ran into a graduate at your amazing menopause show, and she came up to me and she said, I went on a trip with my husband to, I believe it was France. Sorry if I got it wrong. And she said, he kept looking at me saying, do you need to find a bathroom? Do you need to find a bathroom? And she said, that whole trip, like I never peed in a gross gas station or subway bathroom or anything. I was able to just enjoy my vacation with my husband at like I haven't been able to do in like over 20 years. So like those are the stories that really like are amazing for us, right? But we hear them all the time, like all the time. So trampolines, a lot of people come in with the goal of being able to jump on a trampoline, and we get them there. So that's a big one as well. I can't believe how many people have trampolines in Ottawa. Do you have a trampoline?
But it was given to us. Yeah.
They're really dangerous, are they not?
Yeah, no, they almost guarantee some trip to an emergency room, pediatric emergency room. But you only live once.
Right. You gotta live your life.
I love that. I love the ability to impact people's lives in that way, and knowing that you're part of that. And I don't know, Kris, it's pretty beautiful that what you're able to provide for folks.
I have one more really great story for you. And it kind of shows that this is not a static situation, right? This is dynamic. Your body's always changing. And my previous career, I think I was trained to not understand or to underestimate sort of the central nervous system and the impact of stress on our bodies, right? And this is something that has become very clear to me. So we had one client, I think she started on day one, on July 4th, 2022. And I love her. She's a business owner. She has my mobile number. And she had amazing results. And like a year and a half, she came in for her maintenance and biggest support of Eurospot. And then one day I saw her at the clinic and was super excited to see her. And she said, Kris, I don't know what's going on. My symptoms have come back and I don't know why. And I've been doing so well. And I was like, okay, what's going on in your life? And she said, well, work is really, really stressful. I've recently been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I am not sleeping. I think like her mom had been admitted to the hospital. She had all these things going on. And I was like, hey, listen, okay. So we talked on the phone. We talked forever after that. Cause I was like, we're going to do our side, what we can do to help you. But you need to downregulate your nervous system. We see it all the time. People have amazing results. And when they are going through something super stressful in life, the symptoms come back, they flare, right? Like that, like any other symptom, people who have migraines, people who have skin issues, gut issues, which we're going to talk about. When you're under stress, anything flares. And so I had this long conversation, and she had just hit menopause. She was like right in the throes of menopause. And so we talked about it, and I was like, you need to be more mindful. And we had a long talk, and she called me I think just 3 weeks later. And she said, not only are my symptoms resolved, I don't think I even have fibromyalgia. I think I was misdiagnosed. I think it was just stress. And it's so rewarding. Like I can't even describe to you how rewarding it is to have this kind of, I'm sure to have that sort of relationship with a client and know that we have such a great impact on her life, and that it's not like, oh, you're done treatment, goodbye, right? It's like, it's a lifelong partnership that we have with them. And so that's just sort of like my shout out to stress management and how unbelievably important it is in our lives, whether you deal with pelvic floor dysfunction or any other, medical ailment that we just, especially women my age, I'm almost 50, we need to do everything we can to manage those stress levels. And sometimes that feels impossible, but it's just the negative impact to your body it's physically evident at Eurospot.
And what I like about that story, to be honest with you, also is the fact that you're approaching that client's health holistically, not just about the technology, but also about
totally. Anyone can do that. That's not what we do. It's like, this is absolutely a loving and holistic, comprehensive approach, because these women are just like me and every other franchise owner. Only women own franchises, own Eurospot, by the way. And we're a fun group to hang out with, and we can relate to these clients. We understand. So it's not It's not just, it's this very holistic and empathetic. We start with a 45-minute consultation with a nurse. We don't charge for it. First of all, how often do you get 45 minutes with a healthcare professional for no cost who's just listening? And we ask you all sorts of questions. We do a pretty solid medical history, but also our clients have a chance to talk about their experience, about what they've been through, about childbirth, about their menopause, maybe about their hysterectomy, about their, and most of them will say, like, I never really felt heard the way that I feel when I came into your clinic, right? So it's an everything approach. It's really beautiful, actually.
Amazing.
I'm a little biased.
But you know what? That's why we brought you on.
It started off with me being a client, right? Like, I did the treatment in London, Ontario, and it changed my life. So that's why I quit my job, my 20-year career, and I had a pretty good job, and got a loan from the government to open the first one in Ottawa so I could bring what I experienced to my own community.
Look at you changing lives, yo. Look at you changing lives.
Look at you changing lives.
You, Kris. We're lucky to have you. I'll tell you. Where do people learn more about Kris and Eurospot, young lady?
Yeah, I mean, Eurospot.com is a really good place to read all the clinical trial data, learn if it's something that's a good fit for you. I encourage anybody and everybody to come and talk to one of our nurses for 45 minutes. We don't charge because if you're not a good fit, we won't take you on as a client. If I don't think someone's going to do well, I don't want them to start, right? Why would I want that? That would be terrible. So I encourage anybody to come in and talk to one of our nurses about what we do, whether it's today or 10 years from now, that this is something that might be important for you. And then they can find me. It's LinkedIn, Kris Ouimet. They can email me. I think my email address is on here. I'm open to it. I'd love to hear from anyone. Kris@Eurospot.com. Email me.
Boom.
Yeah.
Kris, this is amazing. We're gonna learn more about you. You're gonna be on a follow-up show soon here. But
okay.
Listen, I really appreciate the work you're doing. Thanks for shining this light. And I guarantee this show that we're doing is going to impact somebody's life somewhere out on this planet. So thank you for representing.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for everything you've helped me with. You've been a big part of my journey in the last year as well, which I think we'll talk about maybe on another show. But I really appreciate everything you've done for me as well. So thank you.